Coming to you live from the Now Media Newsroom.
Well, if you want some buzzkill, here you go. Here's some buzzkill for you. BC News. Lawyer, I did an interview yesterday with Jeff Moyse. He's got 33 years experience in Aboriginal law, and he said that BC's Indigenous reconciliation laws are confusing, unworkable, and vague, and put British Columbia at risk in investment and all that stuff. You got to watch the interview. We had some technical difficulties with his connection, but we're going to have him back on, and he's going to talk we're going to just do a show on Haida Gwaii and what that means to British Columbians as well. But you can go watch that interview. And then I guess that we had this tweet here from Mortimer just saying how important those laws are. But we're going to blow past that. But look at Mayor Ken Sim setting the standard, and we're going to push this one out into Kelowna here too. Approves a 0% property tax increase for 2026 because, you know, they've been rubber stamping 3%, 4% every year, just like 3%, 4%, 3%, 4%, right? And it's like it's but I guess he's up for election here pretty quick, as everybody, right? Like I think municipal elections come up. Is it next? Yeah, and into the new year here, the municipal election. So here he is making sure that he does it. He's done some interesting things there, actually, Ken Sim. He wants to make Vancouver the Bitcoin capital of Canada. He's probably one of the few politicians that's into Bitcoin, because it ain't the Canadian government. They're not into Bitcoin. But Ken Sim, a friend of mine, Scott Deedles, I do the Bitcoin show with, actually was on stage with Ken Sim. They had a Bitcoin show down there. So Ken all in on the Bitcoin, him and Trump. Best buddies, I guess. So maybe not, but.
And what's his name? Bukele in El Salvador. He's also done that.
There you go. The Trumps. David Eby. This is odd. You know, there's a $600 fine out there, and there's Eby and Global. You know, like they got nothing else to do, but they're going after Chip Wilson, of Lululemon fame. You know, advertising, spending all their energy. BC billionaires don't decide elections, people do. Well, you take a lot of donations from a lot of groups, Mr. Eby. And money decides.
Also, I mean, I would
That's
like,
the
not
truth,
just
right?
elections. I would like to replace the word elections with economic development. And then I don't think it would be the same thing, would it? Because I don't think the people, well, you have to rejig it a little bit more than that. But I don't think the people in BC decide economic development, do they? It's special interest groups, the small, tiny minority of the population decides that. But I guess EB's fine when it's that kind of thing. Then that principle just doesn't apply any longer.
And then the left-leaning media, government-funded media, wasted no time jumping all over it as well. So there's Global BC. There's, you know, a $600 fine. They found time to just, you know, like go after Chip there. But it's interesting, this next one here. Go watch the interview with David Cochrane of the government-funded CBC, like the ones that have their face in the trough. And one of the best journalists in Canada still that's in the government-funded network is Vasi Kapelis. Go watch the difference. We're not going to play them. You know, watch the difference between how David Cochrane actually just basically, you know, gives Eby all the time he needs to kind of just go after Daniel Smith, whereas Vasi actually calls him out.
I think here I am going to defend my beloved CBC, but I have a feeling that that's editorial policy, because they often just sit there and let them speak. And I do think that maybe that is
They don't sit there for Polyev. I can play you some clips.
That's when they reveal their prejudices, obviously. It's reporters. Yeah.
I can play you that clip, that lady, the radio one there, where she just went after Polyev relentlessly. So you don't care about the planet?
Yeah. What about the pandas?
Anyway,
But no, it's true.